concrete. It's more like a medieval castle.
Hitler's island megafortress.
The most heavily fortified place on Earth.
On the next Nazi megaweapons.
Tonight at 7 on Arizona PBS. Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.
Becoming a sustaining member is so easy. First, choose how much you would like to give every month. $5, $10, a level that works for you. If you would like your automatic contribution to come from your bank account, find your account number and your bank's routing number at the bottom of your checks. If you prefer to give by credit card, just have that handy when you sign up. The last step is to go to our website or give us a call. After just a couple of minutes, you'll never have to worry about renewing your membership again. And remember to ask for one of our special thank you gifts for sustaining members.
Coming up next on Arizona PBS, Life and World. When you want to be more connected, friend us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, watch us online. Coming soon to Arizona PBS.
I'm Chef Mark Tarbell. Join me for a brand new episode of Check Please, Arizona. This week our guest review, Fired Pie, Anzio's, and the Spicery in our 1895 house. Don't miss an all-new Check Please, Arizona, Thursday night at 7 on Arizona PBS.
The world's most popular love story, Romeo and Juliet, comes to great performances at the Met. Thrill to Diana Damrau and Vittorio Grigolo as the original star-crossed couple in Tony winner Bartlett Shear's acclaimed production of Gounod's passionate opera. Look for Romeo et Juliet on great performances at the Met.
Friday night at 8 on Arizona PBS.
From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
This is a new era. This is the Trump era.
U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions visited the border today, how he plans to enforce Trump's immigration policies.
Arizona lawmakers visited the Veterans Association today, and Senator Jeff Flake is trying to expand the Veterans Court system.
And with a shortage of police officers in Phoenix, civilian police assistants are helping to fill in the gaps.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Tyler Paley.
And I'm Katie Beery. Thanks for joining us. Attorney General Jeff Sessions is in Arizona to announce a new era in immigration enforcement. He plans to bring more felony prosecutions against immigrants who enter the country illegally. Reporter Adriana de Alba joins us live in Glendale as she tracks the latest details of his visit. Adriana?
Right now, we're in front of Luke Air Force Base where Sessions is speaking with service members, but he started the day on the border in Nogales, where he toured the Nogales Port of Entry.
After a brief tour of the Nogales Port of Entry, Attorney General Sessions outlined a series of steps to crack down on illegal immigration.
We will secure this border and bring the full weight of both the immigration courts and the federal enforcement and prosecutors to combat this attack on our national security and our sovereignty.
That includes hiring 50 immigration judges to speed up deportations. In a press release, U.S. Representative Raul Grijalva said he hoped the Nogales visit would help Sessions understand the border, saying, quote, "The question is not whether or not his policies meet the needs of our borderlands, but rather, will they even bother to learn what those needs actually are? So far, the answer has been a resounding no."
The number of people crossing the border in Arizona has sharply declined. Last year, Border Patrol members in the Tucson sector arrested 65,000 people. That's half the number of immigrants arrested in 2012. We're live in Glendale. Adriana de Alba, Cronkite News.
Congresswoman Kyrsten Sinema toured the VA hospital today, along with Veterans Affairs Chairman Phil Rowe, to address problems within the VA healthcare system. In a press conference following the tour, Sinema compared flaws in VA healthcare to a jagged loop that is capable of being repaired.
These are things that we can fix. These are things that the system can't fix. So that's what we're pushing now, is how to help that loop become a seamless loop rather than a jagged loop.
Sinema has expressed her views on the VA scandal in the past and is a strong advocate for veterans and their families. Dr. Rowe helped pass a bill last week to preserve the Veterans Choice Program.
Veterans deal with issues such as PTSD that the average court simply isn't equipped to accommodate. In partnership with the VA, Veterans Court aims to help rehabilitate those who served. Cronkite News reporter Anthony Mitchell went to Mesa, where Senator Jeff Flake spoke about potentially expanding the program.
And we know that all gave some and some gave all, and we have an obligation to give back to our veterans and make sure those that were willing to wear the uniform, that they are taken care of.
Veterans sometimes need help acclimating back to civilian life. And when they get into legal trouble, the courts don't always know how to tend to their unique situations.
These veterans-only courtrooms offer treatment, accountability, and structure, while connecting them to benefits they have earned.
You're going to have to find the money to test.
Sometimes called therapeutic court as opposed to criminal court, vets who agree to the program enter a probation period built around rehabilitation. It can only be applied to misdemeanors. Arizona currently only has 9 Veteran Justice Outreach Reps, VJOs, who serve as a liaison in veteran court. They're responsible for covering the state's veteran population of 600,000. Proposed legislation by Senator Jeff Flake would potentially boost the number of VJOs by 50 nationally.
You really have strong advocates for the program and people who really want to ensure that veterans get the treatment and get the special attention, as Mayor Giles mentioned, that they so richly deserve.
Attorney General Mark Brnovich, who co-wrote the bill, spoke as well on how this program is just one way to return the favor.
We have an obligation to do everything we can to provide the help and services and to support our veterans as they integrate and return home. Some do it better than others, but we do know that there are times when folks need those additional services.
In Mesa, Anthony Mitchell, Cronkite News.
Those 50 new VJOs could potentially go to any of the 37 states which have implemented the veteran court system. Of Arizona's 9 currently employed, 5 are relegated to Maricopa County.
The Phoenix Police Department is looking to grow their force to a little over 3,000 sworn officers by next year. And while they work to get to that number, civilian workers fill in the gaps. Reporter Drew Marine tells us how these police assistants are helping the Phoenix Police Department.
Currently, there are over 100 police assistants that serve the Phoenix Police Department. Whether they're clerical or out on the street duties, they're there to alleviate patrol officers from lower priority calls.
What we anticipate is if we're able to get 16 additional police assistants assigned to the patrol division, we're looking at them taking 25,000 calls per year. So that equates immediately to about 9 sworn police officers.
Cynthia Ecker says the most important part of her job as a police assistant is when members of the community show their appreciation.
Time a citizen comes and thanks me for what I've done. So if I've done something that causes them to come thank me, then I feel like I've done what I'm supposed to do.
After the Phoenix Police Department lost about 600 sworn-in officers, City Manager Ed Zerker decided to budget just over $1 million to go towards hiring 16 new police assistants that will be deployed onto the streets of Phoenix.
But even as helpful as police assistants may seem, President of the Phoenix Law Enforcement Association, Ken Crane, says this will not fully alleviate the police department staffing crisis.
I think hiring 16 is going to solve a lot of our manpower and staffing issues. Absolutely not. It's going to be a drop in the bucket. I mean, can we use the help? Absolutely. Will we take the help? Sure.
Crane says the assistants are helpful, but the Phoenix Police Department will need 1,000 more sworn-in officers than the city manager is hoping for. In Phoenix, Drew Marine, Cronkite News.
The Phoenix Police Department will be hiring these civilian workers over the summer, with hopes they will be on the streets helping citizens by the end of the year.
Fire crews are preparing for a busy season ahead. The Department of Forestry and Fire Management is projecting wildfire season to be extremely busy. Ivory Reiner tells us the areas that are projected to be hit the hardest.
It's a huge problem in Arizona. Wildfires. With a busy season ahead of us, the Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire Management is projecting the trouble areas to include the mid-elevations of Chaparral to the Sonoran Desert grasslands.
As we know, this year conditions are quite a bit different. We were blessed with a lot of precipitation, moisture, and snowfall up on the higher elevations in the Mogollon Rim.
Governor Doug Ducey met with the group today to talk about the ways people can avoid starting fires, because a lot of them are human-caused.
Something as simple as dragging a trailer chain can spark a fire.
The governor also praised the men and women who fight the deadly fires. One of those included TJ O'Neill, who started volunteering with the fire department while in prison. He was part of the corrections work program.
I don't know where I'd be had I not been in the fire crew program. You know, post-release, pretty long, hard work. Typically work 16-hour shifts, and we can work up to 14 days straight.
With the predictions about our state's fire season, well, O'Neill, he could be in for a busy summer. In Phoenix, Ivory Reiner, Cronkite News.
Governor Doug Ducey also presented Clay Springs Pinedale Fire Department a new fire engine to help with the upcoming busy wildfire season. Going through a divorce can be stressful, but a new study finds that a woman's health can actually improve following a split.
Coming up on Cronkite News, why divorced women are setting out to become healthier.
Plus, we spend the day with one of Arizona's semifinalists for Teacher of the Year.
I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life now. All my dreams are coming true, yeah. I've been waiting for this moment. It's good to be alive right about now. Right about now.
Officially from 36, and he hooks it in. Arizona State wins. Keeping one deep, and it is caught. Jalen Strong. Do you believe it?
University of Arizona researchers studied groups of women over the course of 3 years and found that women of a certain age who divorced actually became healthier.
Cronkite News reporter Mia Maslar went to Tucson to find out why.
I have to take care of myself a little bit more. I have to be healthier because it's just me.
Kelly Johnson took up hiking after her divorce 3 years ago. Along with being more active, the 56-year-old says she now has time to do more things she enjoys.
I just got back into the things I liked to do before. You know, ride my bike and go take a walk and walk the dogs. It wasn't a chore to do, it was something I wanted to do, and I had much more time to do it.
Dr. Randa Kutab is a lead author of a University of Arizona study that says divorced women ages 50 to 79 improve their health habits compared to married women in the same age range. The study was based on data from the National Women's Health Initiative.
We found that women who became divorced actually lost a little weight, were more physically active, were eating a little bit healthier, and also lost a little bit of weight around their middle as well.
Researchers say weight loss isn't attributed to the emotions triggered by divorce. Instead, women deliberately set out to lead healthier lives.
Maybe what's happening with the women that are getting divorced is they're finding that ability to put their needs first. And likewise, on the flip side, the married women, I think, sometimes have a hard time doing that.
And Johnson is living it firsthand.
I was 30 pounds heavier than I am now. So I decided, that was something too, I think, that I didn't feel like doing anything when you're depressed. But once it was done, I was like, hey, it's me again.
In Tucson, Mia Mazar, Cronkite News.
QTOP does have some advice for women who are married or divorced. Married women actually need to monitor their health to combat weight gain.
And women who are divorcing should make positive lifestyle changes and know they have to work hard to maintain those changes. A government advisory panel changed their views on prostate cancer screenings. New guidelines released last week by the U.S. Preventative Service Task Force say men can decide for themselves whether or not to be screened, but they first must consult a doctor.
The panel previously opposed the screenings as current tests have a small chance of detecting cancer and can instead trigger unnecessary treatment.
Close to half of Americans are infected with the human papillomavirus, or HPV. According to a new survey by the National Center for Health Statistics, 42% of adults ages 18 to 59 are infected.
The survey also found that specific high-risk strains of HPV infected around 20% of women and 25% of men. These strains cause 31,000 cases of cancer every year. And April is actually STD Awareness Month.
Arizona is ranked 7th in the nation for its high congenital syphilis rates. There were 800 reported cases of syphilis in Arizona in 2016, according to the Maricopa County Department of Health Services. Of those 800, 600 cases were men who had sexual intercourse with other men. One way Arizona is trying to bring these numbers down is by making sure people get tested with every new partner.
If you are diagnosed with any of a number of sexually transmitted infections, syphilis, chlamydia, gonorrhea, the treatment is really simple and straightforward, and better to get it taken care of and over with.
The Maricopa County Department of Public Health has an app that allows people to schedule testing and keep track of their results. More than half of all Arizona school children qualify for free or reduced price lunch.
But the program that provides those meals is actually, it might be in danger. Coming up on Cronkite News, how families who rely on free or reduced lunches might be impacted.
And it's a beautiful 88 degrees and partly sunny, but when will we see temperatures in the 90s? I have your full forecast coming up.
Heaven knows you're a dreamer. Don't hide it from anyone. Don't hide it from anyone. Hey, would you believe me if I said we are here for a reason now? This is our life. This is what counts. This is for us. I will go anywhere for you.
Every year, the Arizona Educational Foundation recognizes the best educators in the state through their Teacher of the Year program. Carla Liriano spent a day in the life of these top Arizona teachers.
They're nominated by coworkers, administrators, even their own students for the chance to be recognized as the Arizona Teacher of the Year. I went down to Sierra Vista and spent a Tuesday with 12th grade English teacher Karen Bristow, a semifinalist for the program and one of the top 10 educators in the state. This is a day in the life of a teacher.
Choose your clothes for the day.
Karen Bristow is a mom, a wife, and a teacher. In that order. She and her husband Roger both teach at Buena High School in Sierra Vista.
It's a unique partnership we have because we have an understanding of I think the demands, the frustrations, but also the joys of being educators in this state.
Her day starts at 6 a.m. to get her kids to their before school program.
It's time to go.
Her two sons go to the elementary school in her district, and in just a few years will join her at the high school.
It'd be wonderful to have them as students, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. You have a good day? Kisses? I love you.
When she gets to Buena by 7, she has an hour to prep for the day.
Hi, this is for you. Welcome. I teach English. I've always taught English or language arts. I really enjoy teaching both writing and literature. I cannot choose a single one. What O'Connor or Joyce Carol.
Bristow teaches Buena seniors of various levels, including advanced placement and dual enrollment.
I always find something new in the text, and my students help me find new things in the text as well.
She's amazing. I think she's the best teacher I've ever had. She really works hard to make sure that the students understand what we need to learn and what she's trying to teach us.
She likes to use modern references to teach her students classic themes. Today's lesson, how symbols of tyranny from the poem Ozymandias are also used in a Coldplay music video.
My passion is really grounded in teaching and understanding how to teach teenagers.
I think that she should have won. That's what I think.
But Bristow says she's just grateful to have been recognized for the Sierra Vista community and, above all, her students.
Bye, I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to bring a poem. Thank you. Aren't they awesome? The students are awesome.
As a semi-finalist for Arizona Teacher of the Year, Bristow won a spot at a Teaching Leadership Institute, a partial scholarship to RGC University, and a cash prize. In the First Amendment Forum, Carla Liriano, Cronkite News.
Arizona schools are keeping a close eye on the federal budget process. Educators say one program they can't survive without: subsidized school lunches. Cronkite News reporter Natalie Tarangoli talked to one family that relies on this federal program that may be in danger of renewal.
Arizona schools have been serving up lunches to needy kids with support from the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act of 2010. Those regulations are set to expire on April 28th, and if not renewed, it could have a huge impact on roughly 500,000 children in Arizona, including one family in Queen Creek.
Unless you tell them, none of those kids are aware. As far as they're concerned, you're just like the rest of them.
Brittany Wiltbank doesn't feel any different from the other kids at her high school, even though her family relies on reduced school lunches. With 5 other siblings in the Queen Creek School District, eating affordably is very important.
We have reduced lunch, so they're only 40 cents, which is, it's amazing. So for us, we get an entire lunch, and it doesn't cost us hardly anything.
Queen Creek claims to have the 3rd highest median income in Maricopa County at just under $90,000. But that doesn't mean everyone can afford to pay for lunch.
In Queen Creek, you think about this, we're about 27%. You still have 3 out of 10 kids that rely on the program.
April Wiltbank knows firsthand how expensive it is for her large family to eat. At full price, lunch for her 6 children would cost $18 a day, $360 per month. Instead, all children eat for a total of just $2.40 per day, and they have no complaints.
It's not something that I'm really ashamed of, because I think we have such a big family. It's kind of something that people would just expect.
Carol Weekly works with Arizona's congressional delegation to break down how many school meals are served and the costs and challenges associated with them.
The big elephant in the room, or kind of what's been talked about, there's been a couple of bills out there talking about block granting child nutrition programs, and that would be absolutely detrimental. Horrible.
The federal government reimburses schools about $3 for each meal that meets USDA guidelines. Last year, the Queen Creek School District sold nearly 500,000 lunches, which translated to more than $1 million back to the district.
We're not quite sure what's going to happen. Right now, there is a bill in the Senate to roll it into the Farm Bill, and hopefully that's a good thing, so that way we can continue to operate without any disruption.
I look at my family, I look at my husband and our children like we're going to do whatever we have to do to take care of our family.
The school lunch program is part of a larger package of agricultural legislation before Congress. President Trump has proposed a 21% cut in the Department of Agriculture's budget, leaving supporters of the Child Nutrition Reauthorization Program fearful of real cuts. Live in the Media Center, Natalie Tarangoli, Cronkite News.
Well, Katie, it's absolutely gorgeous outside today, and those warm temperatures, well, they're here to stay.
That's right, and Allison Gargaro is in the Weather Center with your Valley forecast.
It's a beautiful 88 degrees and partly sunny today. We did see the cloud cover throughout your day, and that is going to continue into tonight. That's going to drop temperatures down to around 57 degrees, and we're going to see winds up to 10 miles an hour out of the west. Looking at our satellite radar, we do see those clouds move throughout Phoenix, but lucky for us, by the time you drive to work tomorrow, they will be gone. The normal temperatures for this time of year in Phoenix is at 84 degrees, and we are at 87 right now, so just above that. We're seeing 60s up in the Grand Canyon and Flagstaff and 86 over in Lake Havasu. We're also seeing 80s across the valley right now, 87 in Surprise, 88 down in Goodyear, 83 up in Cave Creek, and 89 down in Maricopa. For the rest of your weekend, we are going to see those 90s, 91 on Wednesday and 93 on Thursday, but that sunshine will be heading in for the rest of your weekend, bringing the temperatures up to 91 degrees on Sunday. Allison Gargaro, Cronkite Weather.
Science experiments in school are no longer just building a model volcano.
Instead, some students are using one of Arizona's key resources to their advantage. Coming up on Cronkite News, how these students are using the sun to power go-karts.
What are you doing? Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
Some schools have students build volcanoes for science class, but this event is allowing students to build solar-powered go-karts. Reporter Amanda Luberto tells us how living in the Valley of the Sun is helping students do more.
When the green flag waves, students start their cart with the help of the sun.
It's an opportunity to get out of the classroom, away from the textbook, and have a hands-on experience that's really fun.
All high schools in Arizona are invited to participate in the Racing the Sun event, but schools that have STEM-based programs seem to be the ones who sign up, Bruce Wright says. In its 5 years, more than 500 students have participated.
High school students work all school year to build solar-powered go-karts. When they get here to practice day, they still might or might not work.
Morgan Smith is a senior at Palo Verde High Magnet School in Tucson. He's the lead for this year's go-kart team and says the program through the University of Arizona Tech Park is helping him determine his career path.
They kind of introduced me to the engineering world, and for a career, even if I don't make the Navy a career choice, after that, I will still want to do engineering.
Because of the engineering and robotics program at his high school, Morgan plans to join the nuclear engineering program with the U.S. Navy. But for now, solar strips on go-karts is his idea of fun. In Tucson, Amanda Luberto, Cronkite News.
This year, 12 different schools are participating, and the final race is on April 29th.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, it's a one-on-one interview with Arizona Governor Doug Ducey. Hear about his budget priorities and why he signed an education voucher system into law.
I'm Judy Woodruff. On the next NewsHour, a look at the dueling visions of enforcement and compassion in the Trump administration's war on drugs. That's Tuesday on the PBS NewsHour.
That'll do it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks so much for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.com.
Nazi megaweapons. When England's Channel Islands are captured,
Hitler transforms them,
This pace is Fort Knox times 10.
bristling with gigantic cannons
The gun could fire 30 miles.
and impenetrable structures.
7 feet of reinforced concrete. It's more like a medieval castle.
Hitler's island megafortress.
The most heavily fortified place on Earth.
On the next Nazi megaweapons.
Tonight at 7 on Arizona PBS. Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.
There are many ways to support your station, but the easiest way is to become a sustaining donor. Hi, I'm Paula Kerger, President and CEO of PBS. Here's how it works. You set up your bank account or credit card to make an automatic contribution every month in support of the programs you count on from your PBS station. You can choose any amount that works for you, $5, $10, $20 a month or more. It's up to you. You'll be able to spread your support throughout the year and never have to worry about remembering when it's time to renew your membership. Best of all, your monthly donations help ensure that all of your cherished PBS programs will be there for you. It takes just a couple of minutes to set up your ongoing monthly donation, so please give us a call or visit us online right away. Thank you.
Coming up next on Arizona PBS, Life and World.
Your favorite PBS shows, ready to watch when you are. Anytime, any place. Find more ways to explore than ever before.
Coming soon to Arizona PBS. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Ironwood Cancer and Research Centers, personalized cancer care through medical oncology, radiation oncology, and radiology services, focusing on emotional, physical, and social support, outsmarting cancer one patient at a time.
Coming up on this special In Focus edition of Arizona Horizon, a conversation with Governor Doug Ducey. We'll talk about a variety of things, including the budget, an expansion of the education voucher system, and new regulations on the Citizens Initiative process. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey, next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to this special In Focus edition of Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Tonight, our guest is Arizona Governor Doug Ducey, who recently signed a number of high-profile bills into law, including an expansion of the state's education voucher system and new regulations on the Citizens Initiative process. We'll talk about those issues and more. We welcome Arizona Governor Doug Ducey to Arizona Horizon. Good to see you again.
Thanks for having me, Ted. Thanks for coming up to the governor's office.
You betcha. Are you recovered from the Final Four?
What a great weekend. Boy, did we put on a terrific show. Congratulations to the Arizona Department of Tourism and the Commerce Authority and the NCAA. It was Saturday through Monday. I mean, the whole world got to see Arizona again after the Super Bowl, after the College Football National Championship. It was just a great event.
Yeah, a great event there. Now we got baseball season. We could talk sports all day long, but we're not here for sports. We're here to talk about what's going on with you and